Welcome to this episode on the Health and Happiness Show, where it's my mission to change your mindset so that you can live a healthy and happier life. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go. Hey guys, it's Ollie here, and welcome back to another episode on the Health and Happiness Show, where today I am joined by an incredibly special guest. He is a personal success coach who helps his clients set and achieve his dream goals whilst achieving peak performance in their relationships, personal and professional life. Outside of coaching, he is also the owner of Belfast's #1 rated removal and storage company, which guarantees a stress-free moving experience. With his business success and entrepreneurship mindset, I was inspired to have this guest on the show today, where I hope to dive deep into his success habits and routines that has helped him get to where he is today. It is therefore a great pleasure and excitement that I welcome to the show, Chris Magee. Chris, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good. Thank you very much for having me on today. When you put an intro like that, it makes it sound awesome.
Well, talking about respect, you said there just before we got rolling that, you're working here. It's on a Saturday that we're recording this, and you're taking your time out of your lunch break to be on the show. So, first of all, respect. And what that immediately says to me, Chris, is your work ethic. And again, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on the show today, is because you're hardworking, you have two successful businesses. Let's dive into that for a second.
Sure, yeah.
How do you manage, your time, your energy, working two busy, successful businesses?
Good question. I used to work myself into the ground. I used to think that working 18 to 20 hours a day and minimal sleep was the way to do it. And in actual fact, it's the other way around. The best way to do it is to get more sleep, get more rest, and take more time off. And when I say take more time off, I don't mean like take 5 days off and then I mean just structure your day, have a plan, make sure you delegate the appropriate tasks. As an entrepreneur now, my main focus is income generating tasks, so sales, marketing, doing those things that are actually going to generate revenue, generate relationships, and those kind of things. And then I delegate anything else to my team, and I have to give credit because it's taken me 4 years to find a good team, and we finally got a good one. I've got a right hand man who takes care of the day to day. They look after the front end of the business. So yeah, just focusing, using my morning times to get the most highest priority task done in the morning, which might be social media, it might be sales, it might be following up leads, and then using the afternoon to walk the dog, and then I'll come back and do a little bit of like admin work at night. But aside from that, just structure, routine, and having a plan, and being prepared for the week, being prepared for the day.
So you mentioned there a morning routine. Like obviously as an entrepreneur, you have to wear many hats, right? And you mentioned that delegating. So I'd love to touch into that, because this is something I'm really guilty of, because growing my brand is like my baby, right? And I'm really protective of it. And given that responsibility, I, by the end of this year, look to have a coach working alongside for the academy students. And, I'm reserved because I'm like, this is my baby. Like, I don't feel quite ready to share it yet, but I also know that's probably where the growth is. So just maybe actually, let's dive into the delegation side first. How do you place that trust? How do you go about, actually finding the right people who share your vision? Because this is your, the crisscross fan removals, that's your baby. How do you find those sorts of people and delegate?
Exactly what you said. There are fine people that share the vision. Money's one thing. I honestly feel, I might offend some people in the industry by saying this, but I pay my guys far more than what they've ever got paid, and far more than the industry standard. So that's number one. Pay your staff well. Treat your staff well with a good pay to start. They'll look after your customers. Secondly, I sit down with them once every couple of months, have a good conversation, find out what they want from their life, find out what they want in their personal life, what their personal goals are. And when I can help them achieve that, then I find they're more willing to help me out when I need it done. We've got that mutual respect. I also look for things like, being in sharing the same values, loyalty, respect, honesty. I like guys here in the fitness as well, to work for me, because I want my guys to be fit and able to do the job. And that's it, really. Just find out what they want. Share. I let them into bits of the vision of the business and what we're trying to achieve in the next year. the next 5 years, and they buy into it, and they know exactly in their head what I'm looking for. They know what they're looking for, and they get job satisfaction out of it as well, because they get mentioned in the reviews, they get mentioned in the emails. So it's that little bit of, it's like an unofficial pat on the back for them. They know, right, we're really valued here, we really love it, and that's just what I try and do. Now, that's not to say everything goes amazingly all the time, but in general, I would say 85 to 90% of the time, everybody's happy with what they're doing, and everybody's on the same page.
Which
Yeah,
I really respect, because hearing the way that you're speaking, right? So mindset's a language, and the way that you're speaking, the language that you're using, you're speaking of that of a leader, right? And that's immediately the sense that I'm getting from you, is that you're a leader. You're not you're not directing them in the sense of whipping the lash, so to speak, but you're actually leading from the front. So what does leadership mean to you, Chris?
do you know what? It varies. The thing about leadership is that you can't always be the one who makes it. This is my view. I mean, I know there's levels to leadership, and I'm, out of 100, I'm maybe on level 3 to 5, because it's still really early stages for me. Like, I'm only 30. But the thing that I find the best is that everybody in my team has their own strengths. So my strengths are sales, marketing, things like that. Um, I've got guys who are great on day to day when it comes to doing removals. I've got guys who are great at packing. I've got guys who are great at lifting and finding angles. So we just kind of have like a synergy where everybody takes leadership in the part that they're good at, and there's that whole thing with we work with a lot of alpha males as well. So there could be that conflict with headbutts and stuff, but everybody just kind of knows who's good at what and who should take, and there's that synergy and there's that respect there. So leadership to me just means having trust in the person who is best at it, and letting them take the lead. And then for the bigger decisions, like the vision, the direction, the back end stuff, that's where I really do. That's where I really shine. And the front end stuff, I let the guys take care of it. I'm even working out today, like I said, and I'm kind of just tagging along. I'm not even leading the job, because the guys do it day in, day out. I don't really do it as much anymore. So I just let them take the role and just let them fire away. I'm really there to be a help.
Yeah, which again, like, I really respect, giving that responsibility to them. That's only going to level them up and actually make them feel valued and probably appreciated as well, which is amazing. You said a key word there, and I think this is probably the root to every entrepreneur, and that's vision. And having a strong vision, the reason probably, the why I get out of bed every day is because of the vision that I have for the direction that I want to take my company in. So what does that vision look like for you? Like, where do it's a bit of a cliche, where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years, but actually, what is your vision, Chris?
It's a good question. I have so many things that I want to do, but at the moment we just want to be number one. We just want to be the best, and I don't think we're certainly not there yet, but we will be. Still a lot of stuff to do in the back end. We're still learning. But vision for me, we just want to be number one. We want to be the name that's synonymous with removals. Like, if people think removals over the house, I want Chris to be the go-to household name in Northern Ireland, and then hopefully beyond. But we haven't got that far. We're trying to get the foundation right for the first part. When you first start a business, you become. I find that you need to become good at the craft first. So maybe how many years have you spent developing your personal training experience? Your fitness, your nutrition, all that. So that's your foundation. That's learning your craft, and then you want to go to the next level, which is learn how to run a business, and then the next level, which is setting systems and all that sort of stuff. And then the next level is scale. So we're at that point where we're still in that building the foundation and systems. But when we get that sorted and we have it down, then we'll take it to the next level and we'll go from there. We'll really ramp it up.
This is the thing, right? Like, and I think this is where my eyes are, like, I would say it's probably more this year. Obviously, with the coronavirus, being out of the gym, for me, it's been a blessing in so many ways. A, I'm healthy. B, my family are healthy.
Yeah.
And C, it's given me time. And time is everything, right? Because it was time to double down on the systems and that. And, certainly when I got into the industry 10 years ago, I thought it was just about showing up, training clients, giving a good service. But actually, there's as the leader at the front of the pack, right, you've got to do so much on the marketing. Like marketing is probably where I spend more of my time building the systems, the back end systems for the business,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
no one sees. Like that's the real grind and hustle, right? Is
yeah,
doing all the stuff outside of the one-to-one session or outside of the coaching call. And I think that's where that's when you're building the business. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So yeah, like I mean, there's so many facets to build a business. Let's talk a little bit outside of business then. How do you, I find it hard to switch off, mate. Like I wake up to go to the loo at 3 a.m. in the morning and I'm thinking, right, so I need to send that email in the morning, I need to do X, Y, and Z. Like I find it very, very, and this is my obsession. It's purpose, it's passion, right? Like how do you switch off? What do you do like outside of work to sort of, create that balance there?
Outside of work, I mean, for a long time, like I'm a huge boxing fan, so I love nothing more than a couple of beers, watching the boxing, with a pizza. I know it's the health and happiness podcast, but I love pizza and I love beer.
Mate, same.
So it's things like that. I'm starting MMA here Monday night, so I'm just taking an 8 week beginners course just to get me out of the house in the evening. I find myself there just sort of coming home at night and not really doing much. I walk the dog every day. Just learn different things. I love business, so I love learning about it, and I love implementing what I've learned, trial and error. But it can't all be about that. I love spending time with my family. I'm going on holiday here for the first time in 2 years in September, and I love doing things that are physical. I love doing outdoors kind of things, even though I don't do them as much as I should. I do enjoy watching a good movie, a good series. I find it really quite easy, especially over the last 68 months, to switch off. Setting boundaries with your business is so critical. And if you have an opening time from like our opening times are 9 to 6, outside of that, I'm not going to answer the phone, and you have to be correct with that. Because if you start answering calls at night, and like you say, emails to do and that sort of stuff, and it's really hard because your emails are on your phone. Everything is just sort of there in front of you, and it's hard to escape with the red notifications. So it's just about creating that space and really switching off and with people, be with them. When you're out for a beer, be out for a beer, and just try and not always think about work, because you will be recharged afterwards when you take that time off.
100%. Yeah, like I mean, it's having those boundaries. I think, like you said, having those boundaries. One thing I've recently started doing, and it's been a game changer for me, is to turn my notifications off, all social media and WhatsApp as well. And that isn't me being rude. It's just very much. It's one of those. Let's say, for example, you're doing deep work on the laptop, and you see the notification, and it's that instant. Like you can't unsee that. You can't unsee that. You have to then go and answer it.
Yeah,
So by actually having those boundaries in place, actually switching notifications off, the world doesn't stop. The world doesn't stop, and it allows you to actually go hard on that one thing that you were doing before.
yeah.
So, two words, I guess, that sort of speak to, when I was certainly doing my research ahead of the podcast was peak performance. So I want to know, like, I know you're massively into fitness. That's how we first connected in the gym.
Yeah, yeah.
You're massively into fitness. You said there about the MMA, but actually, what does peak performance look like both in the professional side, in the personal side? Like, what does peak performance mean to you, Chris?
Um, to me, it just means that sort of doing what you say you're going to get done in a day, and utilizing your time well. I mean, like everybody, I have a lot of off days where I just kind of wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I don't get up on time, and then one thing leads to another. Peak performance to me is discipline. It's not about whether you feel like doing stuff, whether you get up and just do it. So when you get up at the time you say you're going to get up, and you get that stuff done when you say you're going to get done, you get to the gym, get your workout done, get the dog out for an hour. Taking care of the things that you have to every single day. That's not going to happen every day, but if you can do it 70 to 80% of the time, and you know that you're getting good, solid work done, like you said, getting that deep work done on the laptop, like focusing on that one task, getting that completed, and then moving on to the next one. That is peak performance for me. And then you've got higher elements of diet, fitness, mindset, all that sort of stuff. But it just depends. I mean, people might not feel the same as I do about people because entrepreneurs think of it differently. But if someone wants to reach the next level in their career or their fitness, it's about finding out what you have to do to reach that level and implementing it on a daily basis. And you're doing it to the best of your ability. That to me is peak performance, because to me it might be different than someone who's just starting out with this stuff, or starting out with a fitness journey, or starting out their entrepreneurial journey. So you cannot you go through the levels as you get older and as you get more experience.
100%. Yeah, I completely agree. I think discipline, discipline is doing the thing that you know you need to do even when you don't want to do it. And to be honest, I think that is the difference between success to failure, right? Like, is doing, I don't want to go to the gym today, but I'm going to go to the gym because it's the thing I know I need to do even when I don't want to do it. So I believe success starts in the morning, and everyone has a good morning routine. So I'm incredibly selfish for the first 2 hours of the day. Like you could pay me £1,000 an hour to personal training in the gym, and I would decline, because I understand, for me, part of what, creates a successful day, however you want to define success, starts for me in the morning. So what does your morning routine look like? Because I know you do have a morning routine. What does that look like for you, Chris?
I do. I used to have a really strict one, but I found it was actually giving me, I wouldn't say, it was actually restricting me more than it was helping me at one stage. So I narrowed it down. So, but I'm the same as you, Ollie. I've lost, relationships and all that sort of stuff over my morning routine and my dedication to what I'm doing, and that's fine. But because it's so important to me, and like we talked about peak performance, it is important. So my morning routine, I get up. First thing I do is I drink 1 liter of water. So two of these bottles right here. Drink 1 liter of water, and then I put the coffee pot on. Have my first coffee. I write down my goals. I do about like 10 goals that I want to achieve in the next 1 to 3 years. So they keep me focused every single day. Then I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, 3 things I want to achieve that day, and then I write an I am statement. So it'll be like, I am disciplined, focused, that sort of stuff. So you're actually reiterating that you are those things that. And this is where self-belief comes in. Whenever you start, those I am statements are very powerful. You write them down every single day. I am, I am fit. I am confident. I am disciplined. All those things. Because if you believe that you're not those things, if you start writing down I am, you will become what you say you are. And then after that, it'll either be I'll get stuck into work for an hour, get my highest priority task done, or go to the gym, depending on what day it is. And then that's it, really. I just get cracking. Once I've been proactive in the morning, I then have a second coffee, and then I just go. I can be reactive for the rest of the day, and because I know I've done what I need to do first thing in the morning, 60 minutes on a high priority task, or go to the gym, and then take Sundays off.
Good. No, it's so interesting to hear what that morning routine looks like. I think there's so many areas, hydration first thing in the morning, even the coffee, which is the stimulant, the gratitude, right? But I believe you in this 100%. I completely agree and align with your values there. But I'm going to deliberately challenge what you've just said to the person listening to this that goes, "Oh yeah, Chris, that's just fluff." Right? That's just that motivational garbage. Look, I'm on the same level as you. This is what I practice. I write in my journal. Literally, my journal's next to my desk all the time. If I need to write in it, practice gratitude in it. What about that person that's going, "Oh yeah, Chris, yeah, that's just fluff." What do you say to them?
Well, I would say head over to my Instagram because I put a video up about this the other day. First things first. Look, I should have mentioned that I usually get up between sort of anywhere between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. depending on what kind of week I'm having. But yes, I'm a big believer in you need to have a strategy, you need to have an action plan. I think that's more important than the mindset. Some might disagree with me, but when you're doing this is where it comes into discipline. I do not want to get up at 5 a.m. I do not want to write the goals down. I do not want to do these things. I don't want to meditate for 10 minutes. I don't even want to work out in the mornings. I just want to get up and lie on the sofa with my dog. But this is where the discipline comes in, because what you're doing, when you're doing these things, and I'm not saying that everybody needs to write their goals down. They work for me. I believe I am statements are very powerful. I believe writing goals down is very powerful because it keeps you focused. If you do that every day, you know what you're focusing on. Subconsciously, you're programming your brain to focus on these tasks that are coming. But yes, it could be some motivational fluff, depending on when you look at it. I'm not saying that whoever listening to this has to get up at 5 a.m. just because I do it. It suits my day. Get up at 8 a.m. if it suits you. But just do something in the morning that's going to discipline you. Something that you do not want to do, whether it's go to the gym, whether it's go to work, because you are building a callous mind, you're building discipline. And once you start getting into the routine of doing those things, your highest priority task, if it's your fitness, it's going to be the gym. If it's your business, it's going to be generating leads, closing sales, whatever it may be, or delivering a service like you are. And once you start disciplining yourself to do that, you'll find that you'll be more disciplined to do more things throughout the day. So it's like a domino effect. But
Yeah.
it's so important to have a strategy in place. You don't want to be the most motivated, and you don't want to be the most motivated, positive idiot. You want to be doing something that's actually going to propel you forward. So that's why it's important to have a coach or somebody who's been there before to help you get those things in place. If it's a business, business mentor or whatever, but you need to have a strategy as well because that's so important. And the mindset stuff coincides with it because when you hit the shit hits the fan and you have a bad day, that's when the mindset kicks in and keeps you going.
Yeah, like I think it's interesting, like some may call it motivational fluff, but the reality is, right, if it's motivational fluff, then whatever that you're not doing is demotivation. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the reality is, like, I'm passionate about motivation because motivation is the catalyst to someone making a change, right?
Yes.
And I believe motivation's energy. So if nothing else, motivation's the energy to get something done. And the reality is you're probably getting more done in the first couple hours of the day than maybe someone is during the whole course of the day because of that energy that you're creating. It's a bit like a wind turbine, right? You're generating the energy from those activities that you're starting in the morning. And again, like guys, if you're listening to this, please, please, please curate a morning routine that works for you. And like Chris made a valid point, maybe that is getting up at 8 a.m. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to a morning routine. I think you have to be incredibly selfish first thing in the morning and serve yourself first before you before you serve other people. And like Chris, we're in the service-based industry, we're serving people. So that means, if you do not serve yourself first, come the end of the day, when you're knackered, I'm knackered, right? And then really, do you think, when willpower is lower, are you going to get the difficult thing done? Absolutely not. And that's the biggest difference.
I want to spin it like this, Ollie, just very quickly.
Yeah.
So let's say, I used to do this all the time before I sort of started getting into personal development. So think about if you're a business owner listening to this, or you're in a career which really requires a lot of your time and it's quite stressful. Most high-powered careers are going to have you deal with stressful situations. So let's think about if you sleep through your alarm, right? You get up, you jump out of bed in a rush, you're not prepared, you need to grab clothes, you're trying to grab breakfast, you're trying to grab coffee, you're trying to do 20 things at once. Now, think about how your mind is in that moment. It's stressed and you're getting yourself into a frantic state. So you're basically setting your tone for the day. Now, if you get up in a nice, calm, relaxed state and you've done something proactive, think about the difference that's going to make to your life over a period of time. You can't, if you're in a stressed and panic state first thing in the morning, you're late for work, your boss is shouting at you, you've got 10 emails to look at, you've got customers sitting in the lobby, your brain's going to go into overdrive, and then all of a sudden you're just going to shut down. Then that's when you start turning things like alcohol and food and sugary foods, because I've been there, I've done it. I used to eat like a bacon, sausage and egg soda every single morning at work. Well, it was okay because I was burning the calories off, giving the industry I'm in, but not everybody is doing that. But just getting a healthy breakfast and just getting yourself in that right state for the day.
So this is interesting, right? Because you said that's what you used to do. What do you now eat for breakfast then?
Like I would have so I put like a smoothie, so like a banana, water, oats. Sometimes I throw an apple in, a scoop of protein powder, a scoop of green supplements, and then some spinach.
Right. So this is really interesting. So
Oats as well.
if you just burned off the bagel, why wouldn't you keep eating the bagel? There's a reason why you made that transition. What was that reason?
Just because it was, I did start to feel fatigued throughout the day.
Exactly. This is it, right? So it's irrespective if you're burning off or not, you're fueling your body. If you like, what does your van take? Diesel?
Diesel, yeah.
Right. What happens if you put petrol in? It breaks down.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
Like, this is it. It doesn't matter if you're burning it off or not. You're feeding your body with shit basically, and it's going to like. How can you expect yourself to feel good if you feed yourself with the wrong fuel? It just doesn't make
Exactly.
just doesn't make sense.
And how, like, you must find that really difficult to get into people's heads doing what you do, because I'm sure weight loss, and I would say of all the things that you deal with, I would say that is the hardest thing for people. It's still difficult for me.
But I think there's like, so it's Saturday. Every Saturday I go out for food. For me, that's the balance, right? And like, I would rather, so my discipline when it comes to diet is Sunday to Friday. I will be on my diet to the T. But come Saturday, I will happily enjoy a 2 3 course meal, a couple gins, maybe a cheeky glass of red, and actually have zero guilt, because the reality is you have to look at it from percentages, right? If 18 to 90% of your diet is to the T for 90% of the week, then how can 10% derail you in terms of health, progress, body composition? It can't, right? It's just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's like, even like for example, you said there you take Sundays off, right? So that means Monday to Saturday, if you're on it, then you can take Saturday off, spend the whole day watching Netflix, right? And have no guilt, because the reality is for 6 out of 7 of the days, you're making the progress, you're doing the discipline, you're doing the difficult thing, you know? That's what it comes down to. We're getting riled up now, Chris. We're getting the mindset going. What is the biggest thing that's had the most impact on your mindset? Is it a mentor? Is it a book? Is it a course? Is it epiphany? What was that biggest thing for you that made that switch from the bagel to the smoothie? What was that thing?
Jesus, the bagel to the smoothie is
Just mindset. Go. Like, what was that switch? What got you into this place today?
honestly, it was probably about 3 years ago right now. I used to be a big weed smoker. I used to be a big party man. I used to be a big, you know, drug user, alcohol. I wouldn't say alcohol abuser because it was more of a weekend thing, but I definitely was a huge weed smoker. And then at one point, I went. I just started my business, and I went through a bit of a breakup. And then it was about 3 months after that. Now I got worse after that, and I just wanted to party every weekend. And it just got worse and worse. I remember it was New Year's Eve, 2017, and it was coming in New Year's Day, and I was standing there with a load of people I didn't know, just sitting going, I'm going to get up. I'm not going to feel right for 2 days after this. And I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing this anymore. And that's when I just went, do you know what? I'm not saying I'm giving all this, I'm not saying I'm giving alcohol and all that sort of stuff up completely, but I am definitely getting my shit together. So it started with one thing. It um, started with fitness. Just get back to the gym in the morning, and that happened. And then the next thing was the food. The next thing was the business. The next. So you just got to get one discipline in place first. That's what I would say. Focus on one thing. Once you've got that down, move on to the next thing. Then move on to the next thing. Then move on to the next thing. And the next thing, people will be going, "What are you taking? What are you doing?" Because it's about small progress, small wins. And once you get the small wins in, everything just gets better.
3 years ago, was that your breaking point?
Yeah, it was, and that's another thing I should mention to anybody who's listening. The only way you're going to change, and this is something that I see in every single client that I've worked with, every single person I've ever seen turn their life around, it has to get to a point where it's so bad that it must change, and that's a Tony Robbins thing. You have to go, I've had enough. So whenever your shit gets so bad, then that's when you go, I have to change this. And it's not I'm going to try or I should or all those little phrases that you're using that you don't even realize are actually stopping you from making the change you need to. See, when it becomes an I must and I have to do this, then it'll become a priority.
I think I'm so glad we actually extracted that then, because I think that's the biggest thing probably to come out of this podcast is that, breakdowns lead to breakthrough in life. And to the
Yeah.
person in the dark place right now, ready to give it all up, my friend, like you are about to change your life. You're about to break through it, like, and it's that thing of it. And it's so, like it's a bit of a cliche, but like it's that thing of, when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it turned into a butterfly. And the reality is, like, my breakdown moment was getting diagnosed with cancer. Yours was actually maybe, the party and the alcohol, the weed, right? Like that's a blessing for you, Chris, because you're in a better place today because of that epiphany, because of that, what the fuck am I doing, basically, right? Like, and that's the reality of it. So I'm so glad we've got to that point, because, in your maybe your darkest day, like it was like, what am I doing? How am I spending my life? Is this truly making me happy? Was it truly making you happy?
No, Jesus, definitely not. It wasn't, and it just goes to show, you can waste days and days and days, and I don't have to tell you this, Ollie, because of what you've been through. Like, what every day counts, every you don't want to waste a minute of the day, doing stuff that doesn't. Not saying it doesn't make you happy. Sometimes
So this is the perfect.
discipline as well, but you don't want to spend one minute working on something or being with people that do not bring value to your life or want to tell you forward or want to give you some sort of happiness. You know the value of time more than anybody.
But this is it then. This is exactly it, right? Because I don't want anyone to go through cancer, to go through that. And even to a certain extent, I think actually, to a certain, and I'll be interested to know if you agree with this. I think that breakdown moment can be the biggest blessing of someone's life. So, so Chris, right? That was your breakdown moment. So let us break through. How do you want to spend your time? And what is that legacy that you want to have when you leave the world one day?
Honestly, I just love helping people in whatever way I can. That's why I like doing the podcasts. I run a service-based business. I get more of a kick off getting the testimonials in than I do from making the money. And just goes that the two go hand in hand, because once you get testimonials, more people want to work with you. The money comes. But just being with good people, being with great energetic people, and you can't put a price on those things. You really can't. And I want to spend my days. I want my legacy. I want my legacy to be that of a businessman that had a lot of integrity, a lot of honesty. I want to be known as a leader that people love to work for. I want to just have one of those companies that people. I want to be the company that the movement that are lining up to work for. People are lining up to do business with us. For as a person, I suppose because I haven't, I don't feel like I've reached, if you know the Maslow's hierarchy of needs yet, I don't think I've reached that self actualization for my personal life, spiritual self. I don't think I've really quite got there yet. But who knows? Like, I'm still only 30. Could be in 10 years and I could be living in the jungle somewhere. I don't even know. But I want to achieve that sort of financial freedom and build that company. But if anything, I want to be known as a man of loyalty, integrity, honesty, just generally fun to be around. And that's it.
Now, you may have just answered the question there, but like this is always one that I actually, I don't know if I even asked this on a podcast before, but I've done this exercise with my academy students before, and it's, what three words would you like written on your headstone? And I'm sorry how deep that is on a Saturday afternoon, right? But I think it's such a powerful question, because it's like, actually, what values do I want to live my, like, you said a lot, like, what would those three words be on your headstone?
Yes. Probably those three things I said: loyal, honest, integrity.
That's it. That's it. 100%, mate.
There's so many there. I could say I'd say those three things are the things that I would use to describe myself from if anybody asked me. I think, and I think Jeff Bezos says, your brand is what people say about you when you're not around.
Yes.
The best person to ask would probably be my best friend or one of my family members. Um, kind of when you say things like that, it kind of makes you almost like feel egotistical or something. But if you ask one of my family members, I would imagine they would say something similar.
Mate, that's it. Like, at the end of the day, why did I want you on the podcast, right? Because, I like you. We're like-minded. You're a good guy doing good things, with a good business, and that's it. That's literally it. So awesome, cool. Before I ask my last question, where can the listeners find out more about you and what you do?
If you want to find out more about my company, I know it's gonna like it sounds really silly because it's just one of those businesses that people don't really have, but it's a removal storage company. It's Crisscross Removals, CRISSCROSS. That's my company. Like I say, like Ollie said, we want to deliver a stress-free moving experience. We've done so with so many people, and we've really enjoyed it as well. My guys love it. If you want to find out more about me, Instagram handle is Chris Magee 90. I'm not as active on there as I should be, but I'm getting back to it. Facebook, Chris Magee, LinkedIn, Chris Magee. I'm quite active on LinkedIn. And if you want to find anything more about me, you'll find me on the social platforms, Chris Magee 90.
Very good. And I'll put all of your details in the show notes. So, Chris, my final question then is, what is the one thing the listeners can do that will have the biggest impact on both their health and their happiness?
Biggest impact on your health and your happiness.
One thing.
One thing, boundaries. That is the word, boundaries. And it's business, setting boundaries with your business. Even with your partner or with your friends, setting boundaries. And people need to know as well, if they push you too far, people will push you away. That's really, really, that's important. That's not, I'm making that sound like it's an anger thing. It doesn't have to be. People need to have boundaries, because when you let people cross your boundaries, it will have a massive impact on your happiness. Boundaries with your social life, in terms of alcohol, food, that sort of stuff. And go out and enjoy it, because when you do it once in a while, in that 10-20% that you talked about, it will feel far more enjoyable than it will if you're doing it 80% of the time. If that makes sense. If you're constantly eating junk food, constantly drinking, it's going to make you feel like shit, because you put on weight and your mental health will suffer. But if you do it in that 10%, keep that boundary in place, you'll enjoy it far more. So set boundaries in your personal and professional life, and don't let anybody cross you. Don't let yourself cross either, and you will see your results skyrocket.
Love it. I haven't had that answer before as well, which makes it even better. Awesome, Chris. You've been a gentleman, and I can tell you this for a fact. As soon as I have saved for my own house deposit, I'll be using Crisscross Fan Removals, because I see the work that you do, and the professionalism, and actually just the team that you have is really, really good. I respect you as a business owner and everything that you juggle into what you're trying to do to get to where you want to be. It is admirable. And from one business to another, I respect you. So, Chris, thank you so much for your time. And guys, until next time, stay healthy, be happy, take care.